It was a normal day for Veda. She had just woken up and was on her way to school with her best friend Nick. This time, however, she received a disturbing message from her younger sister Amelia. Veda ran out into the hallway and found out that Amelia's period had started, and she was very worried about it. In response, her sister tried to joke and promised to tell her about all the details of this issue in the evening. Veda went to the restroom and met a popular girl at school, Mia Reed. Looking at her, the girl said that she was beautiful even without makeup. At that moment, shots from a gun were heard in the corridor, and the girls ran into one of the toilet stalls to hide. This went on for a very long time, and Veda realized that she was unlikely to survive. She sent a farewell message to someone. Later, another student, Quentin, ran into the restroom. Later, it turned out that the shooter had killed Quentin's younger brother in front of the school. Finally, the police arrived, and the perpetrator was killed. However, the incident deeply affected Veda, who could not recover from the shock for a long time. The next night, she found Mia on social media and decided to write to her. After talking to her, Veda found out that her parents were in Japan, and she was alone at home. She was very scared, so she gave Mia her phone number and said that she could come to her. The girl woke up from a nightmare. In the morning, she goes to see Nick, who recalls these terrible events. He thinks that maybe he survived yesterday in order to somehow prevent something like this from happening in the future. So he decides to organize a movement against school shootings. Veda watches Mia's dance videos and suddenly offers to meet her. The girl lies to her mother and says that she is going to Nick's, but she comes to her new friend, who is trying to look pretty. Veda is delighted with the videos she has watched with Mia and tells her that brother Quentin's funeral is scheduled for tomorrow and she wants to go. Mia offers to go with her, and their presence is very encouraging for the boy who went through a terrible event with them. Veda even brings home a mourning card and puts it in the box. Over time, it contains similar cards from other people who died on the day of the tragedy. Veda continues to tremble at what happened, but one day, Mia writes to her and invites her to visit again. This is how the girl finds out that her friend, despite her outward attractiveness, does not like parties. She spends all her free time dancing, which she used to do every day before the incident at school. At night, Mia asks Veda to sit with her until she falls asleep. On the way home, she apologizes to Nick for not going to the protest march he was speaking at. The next day, Nick leaves for a rally in another city, and Veda's mother suggests that she see a psychiatrist. The girl listens to her mother and does as she says. However, during the session, she cannot open up to the psychologist and just says that she is fine. At home, while Mia was filming a dance video, Veda writes to Quentin. He wants to thank her once again for coming to his brother's funeral and suggests that they meet. However, in the cafe, the young people are silent until the girl offers the boy a hug. Veda watches Nick's performances on TV and asks her friend to pour her some wine. Afterwards, they go to the jacuzzi. Later, they decide to have fun by the pool. Veda has never had this experience before, so she acts funny all the time. At home, she does not communicate with her mother and is even more irritated when she suggests that she go back to school, especially since her parents have allowed her to stay home as long as she needs. Nevertheless, Veda returns to school but is terrified to go to the bathroom and does so outside when she accidentally steps on a jar. The next day, she buys specific medications and sits in class in a changed state. In the same state, Veda bites her pen and gets ink all over her face and goes out into the corridor. The girl becomes even more stressed, and she writes to Nick to help her. A friend finds Veda and takes her home. Amelia tries to ask her sister what happened. However, as usual, she simply ignores her. In the morning, Quentin calls the girl and tells her that yesterday she wrote him strange messages in an altered state. Veda invites him to visit her in the evening and watch a movie. The guy agrees and comes to his girlfriend's house. However, the movie is interrupted because Quentin receives a message asking him to return home. Left alone, Veda watches her mom and Amelia cheerfully cooking, and then she stops her sister from going to the bathroom. In the evening, the girl lies again, saying that she is going to Nick's. In fact, she is going to Mia's, with whom she is sitting in the sauna. It turns out that neither of them has ever had a relationship with a guy before. As a result, their friendship grows even stronger. They go for a walk. At night, while staying at Mia's, the girls decide to try something new. In the morning, Veda realizes that something has happened between them and goes home, where she is met by her worried family who could not reach her. Her relationship with Nick also breaks down, as he had called earlier looking for her. Veda is annoyed and tells her mother that she was at her friend's house and had a few drinks. Although she doesn't even like alcohol, she just wants to live the moments of her teenage life. The girl comes to Nick to apologize, and he says that he and his family have been very concerned about her. The boy reproaches his friend for trying to change the situation with school shootings, while Veda just has fun like nothing happened. Disappointed, she complains to Quentin about her conversation with Nick, and he reassures her, saying that Nick is under a lot of pressure because of his work. The girl asks her friend to tell her about his dead brother. Quentin replies that no one has asked him to do so because everyone is afraid of hurting him again. The boy tells her everything, and then Veda kisses him. However, Quentin quickly pulls the girl away, saying that he is not emotionally ready for a relationship. As a result, a disappointed Veda gets out of the car and receives a message from Mia, who is angry with her. At night, her sister gets into bed with her to talk. It turns out that despite all her indifference, Amelia really misses talking to her sister. All this time, she has been blaming herself for writing a letter about her womanhood, which led to Veda being in the corridor where she could have been killed just like her brother Quentin. The sister replies that sitting in that booth, she was sure she was going to die and realized that she might have time to write one last message to only one person. That person was Amelia, and the message read, "I love you too." The sisters fall asleep together, and the next day, her father takes Veda to the countryside. When Veda accidentally says a swear word while talking about what happened, the father suggests that they both shout. After that, both father and daughter feel better. Veda decides to go to Mia's house and finds her half drunk in the sauna. During the conversation, it turns out that they were both afraid that the night had broken their friendship, but in fact, it hadn't. As a result, Mia decides to return to dance classes, and her friend promises to go with her. At the next session with a psychiatrist, Veda reveals much more. The girl says that other guys, unlike her, have coped with the situation and are now trying to change the world. For some time, Veda wondered if there could be some reason why she survived that day and the others did not. And now she realizes that there was no such reason, just as there was no reason for anyone to die. Veda hugs her mother for the first time in a long time and finally tells her about alcohol, drugs, and the night she spent with the girl, which prompts the embarrassed woman to pour herself a large portion of wine. Veda arrives at the dance school and writes to her friend that she is waiting for her outside. After that, the happy girl looks up at the sky until suddenly she receives a message about another school shooting in Ohio, which triggers another panic attack.